The MMA India Show.
Hey guys, this is Parvin Dabas, host of the MMA India Show, and we are here with Jitendra Khare. Thank you, Jitendra, for always coming up.
Thank you for calling me.
And we are going to be discussing religion in MMA today, which is a very important topic. हम आज बात करेंगे religion का role होना चाहिए नहीं होना चाहिए क्या है MMA के अंदर. बाद में हमारे साथ आएंगे अर्जुन भुल्लट वाया स्काइप एंड कोशिश करें मोहम्मद फरहाद भी आए इस टॉपिक पे बात करने के लिए. अर्जुन भुल्लट विल आल्सो बी टॉकिंग अबाउट हिज फाइट coming up on May 5th in Ottawa. Jitendra, like we were chatting, right now, religion in MMA is a very, touchy topic. Especially हमारे देश में जहाँ पे भगवान के नाम पता नहीं क्या क्या हो जाता है. So the thing is, should we at all bring religion into the picture? Because there are two sides to it. One is that does it motivate you? Do your beliefs motivate you in the cage, and therefore that okays everything that you do or might say in the cage. Secondly is, does it unnecessarily bring religion into the cage, where if you present yourself as fighting on behalf of your beliefs and your religion, that the opposite fighter automatically becomes a member of the opposite religion if he is a member of the opposite religion, and therefore fighting for your religions rather than just as fighters. Is that good for the sport, you think, in terms of making it bigger, or is it and which is not necessarily good overall per se, which it might be good in the short term of you're getting more fans and blah blah blah, but it might not, like for instance in the UFC itself, when Yoel Romero came into the cage and said America, don't forget Jesus or something, I'm a soldier of God and everything. Dana White basically told him, shut up, don't bring religion into the cage. If you want to, whoever you want to pray to is fine, just do it at home, don't bring it into the octagon. And even recently we saw when comments between Conor McGregor and Khabib started going down the religious route, they did shut them down finally, because they knew it was going down a very slippery, dangerous road. Now, also, but on the other side, though, they have banned various religious emblems and headgear and everything. They have allowed Khabib to come in with his, which is his national, people's headgear. But they have allowed Arjun Bhullard to walk in his turban, which is a religious emblem. And we're going to be speaking to him about that, of course, soon, right now. But what is your take on this? Because you, of course, as an Indian coach and promoter, have fighters of various religious beliefs under you.
So, to begin with, like you said, we have to be very careful talking about religion in this country, because it is a touchy topic. I think there are two sides to this. As an individual, I think a person's religion, a person's belief, or you can call it faith, is very important. As a fighter, it's very important. Because for me as a coach, I have cornered fighters from various religions, and I see, you can call it their pre-fight rituals or whatever, and I see how deeply based in their religion it is, whether it's doing their prayers or going to a religious place before the fight to offer prayers. Certain fighters have their own pre-fight rituals, and it I think in a way strengthens them. Their belief gives them that faith that, okay, my God's with me and I'm good, he's looking over me, so I'm safe. Win or lose, I'm safe, and whatever his will is going to be the outcome. If he wants me to win, this is my day, it is my day.
But do you think that thing of karma, in a way, कि जो भी मेरा कर्मा होगा वो मुझे मिलेगा, or however any religion puts it, is kind of the easy way out in a way?
Not really. See, what I truly believe is that two fighters that get into a fight, they've done their hard work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure both the fighters have worked equally hard, though you always want to believe that you're the more hardworking
Yeah,
guy.
but it's not just about hard work, is it? It's about having sense inside the cage, and it's about split-second
Agreed,
decisions
but
sometimes.
also what happens is, so when I trained under Dennis Hallman, he used to say, every advantage is an advantage. When I have that faith, maybe I have that little bit
Extra
of an edge
yeah.
that is driving me. And it's completely on an individual. I think, like they say, each to their own.
Yeah, but there's a difference in having it in your head, and there's a difference in speaking about it.
Exactly. So that's
And-
where
and wearing it on
I
your
started by
sleeve.
saying
Yeah.
that as an individual,
Yeah.
it's good. As a team or as a coach, I have a very common belief: you leave your ego and religion out of the mat, right? I mean, it's simple. When you come onto the mat, when you're training, it doesn't matter what religion you come from. Everyone trains together, everyone goes through the same grind, and everyone does the same amount of work. Now, post that, what I do is up to me, right? About wearing, certain things, about wearing, I think again there are two aspects to this. One is some people do it to gather fans, because if I do this, I'm being identified with a certain group of people, and that automatically becomes a fan base for me. And some do it because, like I said, yes, it is their belief and it gives them their strength. Like, okay, this is what I do, this is what drives me, this is what I represent. So again, two different beliefs, two different. And like you said, my question is, or where I think the line should be drawn is, if I come from a particular religion and I'm vocal about it, does that make my opponent a bad guy? Just because he's not talking about his religion, or he's not the kind of guy who will open up and speak, does that make him a bad guy? I don't think so. My beliefs are my beliefs, and I choose to be vocal about it. My opponent might not.
Yeah, but another thing is, once you are vocal about it, you are kind of getting the fans behind you. And what I've noticed is, the minute it becomes religious, there is a lot of online hate which it generates, because it pits fans against fans based on their religion, because they a lot of times they start supporting fighters based on their religion rather than anything else.
Again, I see. Look at it like this, Parvin. I don't think that's bad, because at the end of the day, people identify with something, and that's what they choose to back up.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean, the beauty of the internet
Which is
is
fine.
anyone can put anything, right?
Absolutely.
How do you stop people from putting up things and making it a hate? That might not be the intention of me as a fighter to do, but if that's what has started happening, that doesn't necessarily mean that I need to keep quiet, right? If I believe that I am representing a group of people, and I'm just saying that okay, these are the group of people that I'm fighting for and I'm representing, and then there are certain people that take it in a different manner. I don't think that that's my fault. Again, like we always say, terrorism has no religion, right? But people make it religious. I think the same thing applies here. That might not be my intention, right? But if people take it that way, is it the fighter's fault? I don't think so, right? Am I making it religion versus religion?
It may
That
not be
needs to be stopped.
the fighter's fault, but should he not be conscious
Agreed.
about the effect that it will have?
But again, the question is, all I'm doing is voicing my opinion. How you choose to turn and
But
twist
that's what
it.
I'm talking about. Is, should that opinion have a religious overtone to it, or that's what I'm saying is should religion per se not be mentioned at all?
Okay, let's put it like this. If this was a country versus country, would we be debating that?
Not at all.
Yes, then why
Absolutely
not
not.
this? I mean, let's be really honest. I mean, believe me, and again.
The reason being, see, it's pretty fairly explanatory. If you have Ireland versus Dagestan, it's not so much, of course, there could still be fights breaking out in the street, but the minute you make it, with all due respect, like a crusades, a religion against other religion, it makes it a whole different vibe.
So-
Recently, the UFC had to step in to tell them, listen, tone that shit down. Match bahut ho gaya. Abhi ye, don't start talking about how your wives look and what religion and all of that.
I mean, listen, that I think was taking it a little too far. But
Yeah.
then when you look at it on the other side, we've had fights where my team members have gone up against. It's been an India versus Pakistan fight. Right now, it's an India versus Pakistan fight. It was never meant to be a religion versus religion fight, but people still took it down that road. How do you stop that?
Some people, yeah, but you know the fact is that India and Pakistan, like the Indian team, has many Muslim brothers, Hindu brothers.
100%.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, 100%.
Just like the Pakistani team has had Hindus in it as well, so it is still India, Pakistan. But the religious overtones, once you make it religion, it becomes a whole different thing. Now I just want to bring a couple of comments in. That Santanu Roy is saying that Khabib, a lot of times people follow him because of his religion, not because of the fighter. And then there is a page called Muslim Fighters, so should there be a Hindu fighters page which starts? Should there be a Sikh fighters page which starts? Should there be a Jewish fighters page which starts? Is that healthy, or is it going down the wrong road?
The question is how we take it.
Yeah.
What are they posting on the Muslim fighters page? Are they crusading against somebody? No, right? If there are a group of people, I mean, again, even I have not followed it.
Yeah.
And I'm being very open and saying this out. I'm an atheist. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any religion. I mean, I do believe there's a God, but I can't name it. And that's my personal belief. I don't want my team to be like that, or I don't want anyone else to be like that. That's completely a point of view. But at the end of the day, the question that arises is, what are they doing on the page? Is it a page where people are supporting each other, people are supporting a fighter? Why not? What's wrong with that? Like, what's wrong in doing that? If I call, for example, I could say Maharashtrian fighters, and then you have a bunch of fighters fighting out of Maharashtra and people are supporting it. What's wrong with that? Depends on how we are taking that. Again, I don't think in principle that page has anything wrong. It's the people that are viewing it or putting comments on it, how they are taking it.
Yeah, but a page is made up of the people. What is a page otherwise?
Agree. I agree. I agree.
That's what I'm saying is, if it's attracting that kind of a vibe, or comments, or anything, and if that's the road we're going to go down. Like I'm saying, like you're saying, is per se there's nothing wrong. If you're bringing people together and everything, but if it is generating any kind of group, if it is generating comments adversely one way or the other, that is what makes the group, isn't it? That is what makes that page.
Then understand, then we are going beyond religion into groupism, right? Then we are going into groupism. It could happen not just with religion.
But isn't that what it leads to? That's what it leads to.
But then isn't that any groupism, isn't that what it is about?
Yeah.
Isn't that what it's about? Whether it's about religion, whether it's about even inside religion, you will have sex.
The difference, though, according to me, and especially when we look at a country like ours, is Maharashtra Haryana का fight है, तो लोग एक दूसरे कोई हार गया ठीक है, कभी कभी ठीक है झगड़ा हो जाता है कि तुमने उसको फेवर किया, लेकिन मार काटने के लिए तो ये वो नहीं होंगे ना. But the minute you bring it into religion, it is such a touchy topic that it becomes something that people are willing to die for.
Yeah, we've seen that in cricket matches, right? Now again...
No, but cricket, that's what I'm saying. According to me, I don't think cricket has gone down that far.
Yeah, because understand the nature of the sport we are in.
Yeah.
Here you have two people locked inside a cage, going at it against each other.
Yeah.
So when as an athlete, I become a representative of something, be a religion, then obviously I carry that burden, I carry that flag or whatever. So yes, it becomes touchier. Again, my personal belief is, I understand that it's a touchy topic and everything, but my personal belief is that religion per se is not what causes this, it's the people that are causing this.
Yeah. Well, see, that goes into a much larger,
100%.
Philosophical argument
Yeah.
of religion. It started one way, and the people who interpret it have made it something else, right? So it depends how you interpret it. But that's why, is it not better, since it is about the people who are interpreting it today, anybody can interpret it, to make sure that it doesn't come into the picture at all, so that there is no misinterpretation or misrepresentation of it at all.
But then let's be really honest, I have seen this happen.
Yeah.
Okay, when we go out looking for sponsors for our fighters, right? We know that, okay, if this guy represents a certain amount of people or a certain group of people, it's better to approach them. And if he takes that angle, all right, that's how he's going to get his sponsorship. That's how he's going to get his fan base. That's how.
Absolutely.
And then, yeah, where do you draw the line?
Yeah.
The line gets very blurry.
So you do have to get people behind you, no matter what.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's it's on. But what I'm saying is that a healthy trend to be going down that road.
See, somehow I've always believed two things you never flash in public: your privates and your religion.
Yeah.
Which I think I hold to.
Yeah.
But my point is, at the end of the day, where does it start?
Yeah.
Look at where does it start. As a fighter, if I need support, who are the people that I will first approach? I will go to my people, whether that's a place, whether that's a community, whether that's a religion. That's the people that I go to.
Yeah.
Once I do that, I'm kind of becoming a hero for them.
Yeah.
That okay, I'm representing you, come out and support me.
Yeah.
I kind of become a hero for them. So my growth automatically becomes the growth for them or their belief. So I think, and then that starts taking proportions that we don't want it to. But it is what it is. I mean, that's where it starts, right? I have seen this at a grassroots level. I've had fighters who've gone out and reached out to people from their sect, from their community to say, listen, I need sponsorship, I'm doing this, I'm representing you guys, and that slowly builds up to a point where, yeah, if tomorrow that same guy is going onto a platform like a UFC, obviously that whole community is backing up, there's a lot of emotion behind it, and yes, things do go wrong at that point. But again, I don't think that there's anything per se wrong with that as long as it takes down that road. Now, it depends on whether, I think the intention behind it is more than, like if the intention to create that page is to get people behind the fighters, to get them recognition, I don't think that's wrong. But is that turning into something else? Then yes.
Absolutely. So basically you're saying it helps.
It helps,
Yeah.
as long as the intention behind it is right.
What happens when the intention behind it, I mean, by that time, what do you do if the intention behind it is wrong? And how do you know about that intention until it's too late?
So question then arises is the people that are controlling it, right? Do we want to carry on with that, or do we say, okay, you draw the line, you shut it down, like you said. UFC shut down that whole thing between Khabib and McGregor to say, all right, this is taking a direction we don't want it to, right? When was the last time you heard about that? Wasn't it shut down successfully, right?
Yeah.
It can be done. Now, again, the question is, do I want to do it, or do I want to say, oh, okay, my likes are going up, my hits are going up, let's keep it going. As a promoter, I would never want to encourage that into my promotion. I mean, for me, it cannot become about religion versus religion, or a group of people versus a group of people. Yeah, as long as it's about, say, Maharashtra versus Karnataka or Bombay versus Pune, 100%. I think, again, that brings people to rally behind their own guys, and that helps. But even if that comes to a point where we are going to see, oh, okay, now the crowd's getting very hostile, which we've seen in our past. I don't want to mention the place, and because people do get emotional about the people they are supporting. We just shut it down.
Yeah.
That's it. This is it.
But how do you shut it down?
I mean, again, you pull the plug on it. It's a page, right? At the end of the day, it's a page. Now, I'm saying at least that forum when you shut down, what's going to happen is, if I still want to spread hatred, I'll go on to certain other forum. But at least that particular forum can be shut down.
What happens when stuff like this leads to what we saw in the fight between Khabib and Conor after the fight?
So again, I don't think that has more to do with religion, but where
A personal enmity.
a personal enmity, and where things got very personal.
But it could.
It could, 100%. I'm saying.
So how do you shut that down?
It got very personal, and when you have two guys who
What
just
I'm
fought,
trying to say is, once you go down that path, it's not easy to control it.
100% agree.
And if that something like that flows into, after the fight, depending on who wins or loses, into something like that which we saw, and if it's not contained, it becomes bigger. It becomes a dangerous situation.
So again, you were talking about India-Pakistan cricket matches. Haven't we heard where, when they've lost, their houses have been stoned and stuff like that? What do? Do you stop cricket matches? Do you stop India and Pakistan playing each other? I mean, I wish I had an answer.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, again, you're looking at masses here. They are going to react.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not really sure whether the intention was. I mean, again, are we giving the Khabib McGregor a religious angle, and that's why what happened after the fight happened? I don't know. I think it was more about two people and their personal enmity, which became personal, and that's what landed up being what it was. I mean, you've heard about similar issues in Pride where Hammer House went against shooter boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was a similar thing, right? But
Yeah.
there was religion involved. So how do you contain that?
Yeah. So, let's say, I mean, because you're a promoter as well. Basically, if a fighter wanted to come in, let's say they're from two different communities and they want to pray in their own styles and everything, you have no issues inside the ring if they do that.
Not in the
Before-
cage.
That's what I'm saying.
Not in the cage.
Yeah.
They have all the time in the green room to do that.
Yeah.
And 100% respect that.
Yeah.
It's your pre-fight ritual.
But
You should do it.
how would you stop that? If they wanted to, I mean, if they just wanted to do it, how would you stop it if they just go ahead and do it?
That's something we brief them before.
You
the
brief
fight.
them, okay.
Yeah. That once you enter the cage, the ref's going to step in, ask you to fight and fight. If you do not respond to the call, you're going to take it. You don't want to fight.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what it is.
Yeah.
And we are very clear
So
that
that's
whatever your
what
pre-fight
we are
rituals are,
talking
need
about
to be
as well.
completed in the green room.
Yeah. So that's what we are talking about as well. Is in the cage, don't bring religion.
100%.
Keep it to the green room.
Yeah. Yeah, again, that's always been very clear with any sports, I believe. That's
Yeah.
how it should be. I haven't heard about a sport where it's a religion versus religion ever.
Yeah.
It's always either a country versus country, a state versus state, a club versus club. Why do we not do that? Because
Yeah.
it is a very touchy topic.
Yeah.
So I think that
And
applies throughout.
I don't think country versus country is such a touchy topic.
No, I'm saying religion versus
Yeah,
religion.
religion versus religion is
Yeah,
a very
so
touchy
I
topic. Which
think-
is why we're talking about it today.
Yeah, and I think that's the standard throughout any sport.
Yeah.
Even whether you're playing soccer or you're playing cricket, once you're on the ground, you play,
Yeah.
right? And that's it's as simple as that. Even in the cage, once you step in the cage, you fight. Yeah, you win the fight and you want to thank your God and things like that. 100%. Why not? I mean, like I said, there are people who believe that they've been driven by their religion to win or motivated to win. And as long as it's not about being anti something, 100%. Why would we stop that?
Yeah. Well, great. It was great chatting. Any last words?
Yeah, I'm just saying there's going to be a lot of hate coming through. Yeah, I mean,
Why should
again,
there
it's
be?
my belief.
Why should there be? I think you've been very fair in what you said and slightly diplomatic, but which is fine.
Diplomat is not a word you can
Okay.
use with me.
So, but I think what it comes down to is, the bringing on supporters in the name of your religion is fine, as long as you don't bring it into the octagon.
100%. 100%. Your belief is your belief, and
So-
as long as you keep that to yourself.
So, what would you say about the UFC's decision then to allow Arjun to, come into the ring
So,
with his turban?
again, I think that there is a lot of, obviously TRP. There's a lot of promotion also involved
Yeah.
when they take their decisions at that level.
Yeah, which is
Because-
great. Like you're
yeah.
saying, if it brings people together in a
100%,
positive way.
yeah. If just wearing a turban and walking out gets them to get more people to watch it, I don't think that's wrong.
Hmm.
It's not harming anyone.
Mm.
It's not harming anyone. I'm sure, I've had the privilege of meeting Arjun, and he's one of the nicest guys that I've met for whatever time I got to meet him.
Mm.
But I'm sure he's not crusading against anyone.
Mm.
He's proud about his roots and he's bringing that to the cage. I think there's nothing wrong with that as long as it doesn't harm anyone.
Mm.
It's only going to get more people to back him up and at the end of the day make the sport bigger.
Hmm.
Why not?
Okay. Well, great. Well, it was great chatting with you, Jitendra. And what's next with X1? You guys just had a very good. Was it Mysore or
Mysore.
Mysore, where you had, and of course we covered X1 in Mumbai, which was really great. So congrats on the
Thank you.
success. I thought the fights were really good. Did we chat after that or anything? No, but we did cover it. Sorry, we did review it on our show, and I thought the fights were of an especially high level, and all the ladies showed a lot of heart, and it was so amazing to see ladies with their children outside, and give them to the husband, come and fight, and then go out, and handle their kids again. It was really amazing.
I mean, at the end of the day, I believe that's what the sport is about.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what I do, what I do.
Yeah.
And it's been a great experience. Hopefully, we're planning another event in Delhi on the 18th of May.
Okay,
And
great.
they're
X1.
going to keep following it. Yeah, they're
Excellent.
going to keep following.
So tell me, have you changed Yoda into X1, or is Yoda separate, X1 is separate?
So X1's owned by a group of my friends, and I'm helping them put it together. YFC, we are still in between a couple of negotiations.
Okay.
Hopefully we restart that. So till then, I'm just helping my friends build X1, and I mean with whatever little experience that I have garnered and the kind of contacts I have, I'm trying to put the show together and help them, because at the end of the day, I believe fighters need to fight. They need a platform to perform. So till we can have one, I'm just helping build a platform, and hopefully these guys, and I believe that once if we are able to restart YFC, then hopefully
now
both
tell
of
me,
us can.
what is the larger picture you have for X1 in terms of, are you going to now, because the fights are exciting, are you now gonna, like in YFC you had people leading up to championship belts and everything, are you gonna start having that in X1?
So we did in X1 in Chennai. We obviously crowned our first welterweight champion. There was a featherweight champion. There was a women's champion. And what we are in the process of is we are sitting and we're kind of drawing a leaderboard, and we are going to start having more weight category championships and contenders for them based on the number of based on kind of records of people that are fighting. So yeah, we are in the process. Obviously, it's not that easy because you have a lot of new guys that come in, and then you have a base of fighters that have fought maybe 3 fights or 4 fights. So I think it's all going to take some time, but yeah, we are trying to put a process in place. Also, at some point, what we want to do with X1 is that we want to migrate these amateur fighters into kind of like a semi-pro and a pro status. So they have a good, solid amateur base behind before they jump into a pro fight. So that's the roadmap. I believe that's the roadmap, and one of the reasons why I'm helping my friends do it is because they have that similar kind of belief. So it becomes easier for me to work with them.
Okay, well, great. So we wish you all the best, and
Thank you.
hopefully you're going to bring X1 back to Mumbai soon.
Sponsors.
Yeah, okay.
Please shout out to sponsors that
Yeah.
want to sponsor the event.
Well, yeah, shout out to sponsors, anybody who has money,
please.
They don't discriminate between people who have money. And
No
but
color of
isn't it,
money.
now that's a whole different discussion, isn't it? Trying to get sponsors for MMA, because, and I was talking to a newspaper recently about MMA. They're doing this, large article. Of course, we did get pictures for you for the Hindu article as well. And I was talking to somebody else in another newspaper organization, and they kept describing it as blood sport. And I told them, listen, don't say that word. It's not a blood sport, And the problem is, a lot of sponsors view it like that.
But I think that's always how it's going to be. Like for the longest time, it was banned in New York because they called it human cockfighting.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So I think again it's about education. It's about understanding, and you'll always have that bunch of people who will see it like that. Who'll always see it like that. I believe that that's not something we can change. But yeah, if we can reach out to a larger people and try to explain to them what it is. And I think that was the beauty behind the women's fight night. Like you said, people got to see that these aren't, women that are just hungry to kill each other. They are mothers. They are mothers. They have their other duties, and yet they are doing this. At the end of the day, it's a sport. It's a sport like any other, and these are athletes. You can call them fighters or anything, but these are athletes. They are trying to improve. They are trying to perform at their highest level. So I think at some point that education is going to help, but yeah, there'll always be that question mark against it, saying, "Oh, blood sport and women cockfighting."
Yeah.
I think it's
So it
always
is an uphill battle to get
Always,
sponsors, but
always.
because of that.
always. Yeah.
Wish you all the best
Thank
in
you.
getting sponsors and money from any source. A lot of times it is high net worth individuals who step in though, to bridge that gap, no? Like you just said, a couple of your friends got together.
Yeah, I guess, at the end of the day, it comes down to connect. It comes down to, obviously, if you have people who have a very strong presence in the media backing it up, then that helps, because then people are not promoting or supporting the sport, they're supporting that person. Either way, I think it helps the sport. Anything that helps the sport is good. So,
Well, great to have you here, and all the very best with the
Thank you.
next fight in Delhi, and we hope, like I said, to see you soon in Mumbai and have you on the show again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Take care. Cheers. Bye bye. Well, that was Jitendra, and it's always lovely to have him here. And we are now going to try to connect with either Arjun or Mohammed Farhad. Let's see if we can. Find either of them. Okay, he's requested us to Skype. My ID, but I've not got his notification. Okay, our team is going to try connecting to Mohammed Farhad while we also wait for Arjun to come. Are you trying to call him? Okay. Hold on, guys. Till then, you can see my pretty face while I wait. So do keep sending us. Let me just see if you guys have commented anything else. Keep your comments coming in. If you have any questions for Arjun, who's going to be coming on, or Mohammed Farhad, so let us know. We're just waiting to connect with them after the lovely chat with Jitendra Khare. We just asked for some more. Is Gaurav inside or outside? He's outside? Okay, no problem. Guess I can't get any more coffee right now. So you guys can send in your comments right now. Of course, we've spoken about a couple of things Santanu has brought up when we spoke about a couple of his questions. And as you know, this is a very important topic, whether we should be bringing a religion into the octagon at all. We will be speaking to Mohammed Farhad and Arjun Muller as well soon. Just waiting for them to So while we're doing that, why don't we ask Jitendra to come back? Jitendra, I didn't mean you had to go away. I didn't mean you had to go away. I thought you were in a hurry to go or something for your training.
No, you shook hands and you were like,
no, I didn't mean that. So
I believe you kicked me out and then you said I have to go.
No, I didn't mean that. So let's try connecting to while we're waiting for. Oh. Ah. just change the view so we're Mohammed.
Hey,
Hey.
hi Kisa, how are you?
Hey Mohammed, how are you?
How's it going?
Nice to
Good to
see
see you. No,
Hi,
this-
hi, hi, Dabas. Good to see you too.
Same here. We can't see you
Just a
anymore.
second.
हाँ.
Just a second, I think.
भाई अपने कैमरा को घुमा भी लोगे so it fills the screen.
Yeah, actually, I'm trying that,
Okay.
but
No problem.
I've not been using Skype much, but the camera is not. घूम नहीं रहा है वो कैमरा, वो टर्न हो रहा है डायरेक्टली.
अच्छा तो आप सीधा ही रख लो फिर.
Just a second,
तीनों आ रहे?
जी सर.
Okay.
Yep.
There we have.
I'm here.
How are you, मोहम्मद भाई?
Hello, hello. Too good, too good.
तो सबसे पहले तो शादी पे मुबारक. आपके शादी के बाद बात नहीं हुई है तो शादी के लिए मुबारक.
बहुत जल्दी मुबारकबाद दिया आपने.
सॉरी
बहुत बहुत
मैंने
शुक्रिया.
मैसेज किया था आपको मुबारकबाद का भी
अच्छा.
मैसेज किया था
अच्छा.
लेकिन अभी
अच्छा.
फेस टू फेस मुलाकात अभी हो रही है इसलिए मैं अभी आपको मुबारकबाद फेस टू फेस दे रहा हूँ.
अच्छा अच्छा, थैंक यू सो मच. वेरी नाइस मेमोरी यू हैव.
या सो लेकिन एक चीज बताइए आप फाइट कब कर रहे हैं या शादी में आप मस्त हो गए?
जी नहीं, ऐसी बात नहीं है. शादी के बाद मैंने एक फाइट किया हूँ, तो अभी
मैं शादी के अंदर फाइट की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, शादी के बाहर की फाइट बोल रहा हूँ.
शादी के बाहर की बात कर रहा हूँ. जी एक्चुअली फिर से मैंने उसके बाद में फाइट का ज़्यादा मैंने सोचा नहीं, क्योंकि मैं एक इंजरी से डील कर रहा था.
ओके.
तो शादी के बाद मैंने एक फाइट किया वो
कमिटी में ऑफ कोर्स हाँ.
जी जी. तो या सो अभी तो इंजरी काफी हील हो गई है, फीलिंग स्ट्रॉन्गर देन बिफोर.
ओके.
थैंक गॉड. सो आई थिंक आई विल थिंक ऑफ इट नाउ.
सो इंजरी क्या हुई एग्जैक्टली?
It was actually a boxer's fracture in my right hand. This first metacarpal was fractured
ओके.
during the fight. So it took 6 months to recover.
Okay, so is it recovered now or is it still in recovery?
It has recovered now. The 1% was there, but I think that also is fine now.
तो अभी आप ट्रेनिंग में हैं वापस?
जी अभी मैंने स्टार्ट किया ट्रेनिंग, कुछ एक हफ्ता हुआ रहेगा ऐसा.
ओके. तो अगला फाइट का कुछ डेट वगैरह या कुछ फिक्स हुआ है या अभी नहीं?
अभी तक तो कुछ फिक्स नहीं हुआ है. As soon as I got the opportunity, I think I'll take it and then I can.
And will you be fighting in Brave next or Kumute again? कुछ ऐसा प्लान है या अभी कुछ प्लान नहीं है?
ऐसा कुछ प्लान नहीं है अभी. जो भी अपॉर्चुनिटी आएगी आई फील इट बेटर देन आई ग्रैब इट.
ओके ग्रेट. अभी एक जो टॉपिक जिसके बारे में हम आज बात कर रहे हैं वो है एमएमए के अंदर मजहब की बात, या मजहब लाना चाहिए या नहीं लाना चाहिए.
अच्छा.
जैसे एक बार योएल रोमेरो ने केज के अंदर बोला था अमेरिका जीसस को मत भूलना, तो उसके ऊपर फिर डैना वाइट ने बोला था कि आप ऑक्टागन के अंदर मजहब मत लाइए, बाहर आपको जिसको प्रार्थना करनी है, जिसको पूजना है आप वो पूजिए, आप प्रे कीजिए, लेकिन ऑक्टागन के अंदर आप मजहब की बात ना करें.
I totally respect what Dana White said actually, because मजहब जो है वो और स्पोर्ट्स ये दो चीज बहुत अलग चीजें हैं. तो जो one may ask help from God through whatever channel he follows.
Yeah.
And religion is like very very personal, it's between the Lord and his follower.
Yeah.
Whereas MMA is a total, like it's a sports for everyone. It's a common platform. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, because see you have joined this group, I think Muslim Fighters, you are a part of that group, right?
Which fighters, sorry?
I think कुछ Facebook group है Muslim Fighters.
हाँ, उस पेज को मैंने लाइक किया हूँ.
हाँ, okay. So do you think there should be more pages like that for every religion? Do you think that helps? like we were just speaking to Jitendra, he was saying, you know, it can be good because you get more followers, and you know, one of the ways that you that the people who follow you is not just your national identity but religious identity. Please tell me if I'm quoting you wrong. I don't mean to put words in your mouth. Is one way. तो आपको क्या लगता है वैसे कि जो फाइटर की आइडेंटिटी है वो मजहब से भी होनी चाहिए या सिर्फ उससे होनी चाहिए जिस देश को बिलोंग करता है? हम आपसे इसलिए पूछ रहे हैं because we consider you a national treasure for our country who has fought for the country and brought a lot of laurels in, especially even in your last Kamute fight, and you have always brought up the Indian flag with a lot of honor and pride.
Actually, sir, thank you so much. I appreciate it. जो भी आपने कहा, but I still think that I'm nothing. I need to learn a lot. I'm still a learner and I'm nothing. And अगर आप वैसा सवाल आप मुझसे पूछते हो तो मेरा जवाब वही रहेगा कि whatever religion you follow, you know, whatever caste, creed, race you are, I think you can still compete and shine like a bright star.
Yeah.
You know, and I personally, I would suggest that to keep religion outside the cage, gym, and mat.
Yeah.
Because that's how we should come into common terms. That is MMA.
Yeah.
So that's how it will create harmony when we come to common terms, and you can say that it will create a great example that whatever religion you follow.
Yeah. I totally agree with you, and the reason हम इस टॉपिक के ऊपर बात भी करना इसलिए चाह रहे थे कि हमने देखा कि कई एमएमए ग्रुप्स में मजहब को लेके एक दूसरे के साथ झगड़ा चालू हो गया था, which we found was a very bad thing to start. So one of the things of stopping it is having this discussion also, you know, that according to us in MMA mixed martial arts, you know, the fighter is, you know, an individual also, but there should not be talk about his religion on the pages as well, and fights amongst the followers based on a fighter's religion. That's a personal matter. लेकिन बात जैसे हम जितेंद्र के साथ कर रहे थे तब भी होती है, what happens when a fighter does publicly bring his, you know, religion out into the open, or, you know, so then is it justified कि you know, he is being followed also because of his religion? फिर उससे क्या एक ये हेल्थी ट्रेंड है, या आप बोल सकते हो देखो फॉलोअर्स बढ़ रहे हैं, स्पोर्ट के लिए अच्छा है, और लोग आ रहे हैं, सो इट्स अ हेल्थी थिंग. एंड लाइक जितेंद्र सेड कि इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द इंटेंशन एज वेल. वी ऑल बिलोंग टू अ सर्टेन रिलीजन, एंड इफ वी हैव फॉलोअर्स फ्रॉम दैट रिलीजन, उसमें हार्म ही क्या है?
जी, अगर वैसा है तो ठीक है. देखिए, सब बात नियत की होती है.
बिल्कुल,
जो कि बिल्कुल सही बात है कि नियत साफ है तो सब ठीक है. बट अगर किसी को एज अ प्रमोशन इफ दे आर यूजिंग इट इन अ गुड वे, so it's fine. But fighting, I think, as I said, it's very very personal. So it's between the God and the follower himself. So I think talking, see, there are a lot of keyboard warriors and all, you know. And हर रिलीजन में कुछ बुरे लोग हैं, कुछ अच्छे लोग हैं, चाहे वो जो भी रिलीजन हो. और मैंने कभी भी ऐसा अपनी जिंदगी में कभी ऐसा रिलीजन कभी देखा नहीं. I respect all my coaches, all my teachers. I train under Hindus, Muslims, Jew, and all type of religion. And I have never seen them as a religious perspective. You know, I've always seen them as my coaches, and I've always respected them.
Yes.
My training partners, my opponents. अगर ऐसे रिलीजन की बात होती है तो मेरे अपोनेंट्स काफी मुस्लिम रह चुके हैं, ज्यादा हिंदू से, बिकॉज मेरा मिडिल ईस्ट में रैंक है.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes, absolutely.
जी, तो केज के अंदर रिलीजन नहीं होना चाहिए. इट शुड बी ऑलवेज पर्सनल, inside your heart, and you should always respect all belief like that. So that's what I follow, you know.
So, you know, just having said that, and you know, I completely agree with what Farhad said. I've had the privilege of sharing the mat with Farhad, you know, on 2 of his fights. I don't think at any point of time during any point in his training camp did he ever, you know, bring religion into it. He had his beliefs and he always had his timings and things, and you know, I think and it's exactly what Farhad's saying is what I'm trying to say. But if people want to make him or identify with him because of his belief,
That's not
that's
his fault.
It's not his fault.
See,
It's
that's,
not wrong.
that's what I started off as saying
Yeah.
is Mohammed has always represented India with a lot of pride and brought the Indian flag
And I'm
to the
sure
off the
Farhad
wall.
will also tell you that once he stepped on the mat with us,
Yeah.
it really hasn't mattered.
Yeah.
It really hasn't mattered.
Yeah.
You know, we've gone behind his ass as much as he has, and
Yeah.
it really at that point doesn't matter. Again, the question that comes down is if the intention of his followers
Yeah.
is to make it wrong,
Hmm.
it's not his fault. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, what does Farhad do?
See, it's not his fault also. Mohammed per se, individually, doesn't bring religion into the
Yes.
picture.
And
he only
understand,
brings his
understand what
country.
happens is Mohammed is a national figure.
Yeah.
When you talk about MMA in India,
Yeah.
Mohammed is one of the names that will come to your mind.
That's what I exactly said.
And I guess some people would like to use that in a negative manner. But that's not what Mohammed does. I know Mohammed personally. I mean, I'm telling you, I have, like I said, you know, somehow in my whatever little bit that I've done in my coaching, I've had the privilege of training with future legends, and Mohammed's one of them. And I know Mohammed would never ever do anything like that. But if people have intentions of doing it, you can't blame Mohammed for it, right?
Yeah.
It's not his intention.
Yeah, absolutely, it's not. But what happens when it is the fighter's intention of getting followers based on, you know,
There are always going to be good people and bad people.
and what happens when it goes down? जैसे अभी हमने देखा जो कॉर्नर एंड खबीब का जो झगड़ा था वो थोड़ा रिलीजियस टेरिटोरी में चला गया था, तो यूएफसी को बोला था भाई ठंडा करो ये बात, don't go into religion, you have to cut it out, and they literally had to get them to stop because it was going along religious lines. Then it was going into dangerous territory which nobody wants, you know. So
see, things get heated anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, Mohammed, do you remember your brave fight in Bahrain? Now, I mean, Mohammed was fighting Hamza,
Yeah.
and things got really, really heated because then, at that point, it became about India versus Bahrain.
Yeah.
I mean, I was there cornering Mohammed,
Yeah.
and like we were in hostile territory at that point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, things are going to get heated. People identify. That's where I came from, you know.
Yeah.
When it's about fighting, which is like the most primal instinct,
Yeah.
people start identifying with their own people, and things do get heated.
Yeah.
Now, it could be based on country, it could be, and unfortunately, sometimes it's based on, like, being based on a country is like a bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because Mohammed is carrying the Indian flag.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets down to pettier things like religion.
Yeah,
Again, it's not the intention of the fighter.
not at all.
If the promotion is promoting it that way, that is wrong. But that wasn't the case in this fight. It was, you know, it was just India versus Bahrain, and we were fighting in Bahrain, and things got really heated up.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys shared the interviews, and
Yeah, of
things
course.
got really bad.
Yeah.
Again, that was never the intention.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. So, I think we're all on the same page. You know, about this is कि followers के intentions को आप control नहीं कर सकते, सिर्फ अपने intentions को control कर सकते हैं at the end of the day. And like we were saying, religion is a personal thing. And the reason I wanted to talk about this also is I started seeing on a lot of MMA pages, there is a lot of religious talk and fights going on based on religion. And I think it's about time that the fans stop it as well. The fans, you know, should realize that every fighter has a religion which he follows, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you start attacking other people based on opposite religions or vice versa. Correct? I think the fans need to also respect the fighter's religion, but not make it a flag to start beating other people up with.
Yeah, I think you know, there are bigger things to identify with, like
Yeah.
like you know, like we just spoke about Farhad carrying the Indian flag.
Yeah.
I would identify with Farhad because of the fact that he's proud to carry the Indian flag,
Yeah.
and not because he comes from a particular region,
Yeah.
religion, or
Yeah.
a region, or
Yeah.
you know, maybe a particular sect, or just from a place.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's my choice. At the end of the day, it's my choice if I want to see the bigger picture.
Yeah. So I do you think it's also I mean, and one of the reasons I am doing this with respected figures in the MMA world in India also is so that people out there hear our opinions, you know, and realize that religion doesn't matter when you're fighting. It does matter to people, like you said, some people they fight for their beliefs. It's inside दिमाग में है तो ठीक है, as long as you're not wearing it on your sleeve, you know, because that's when it gets I think a little out of hand, especially in online. And जैसे आपने बोला ऑनलाइन कीबोर्ड वॉरियर्स बहुत हैं जो कुछ भी बोल देते हैं, लेकिन हमारा देश ऐसा इमोशनल है कि बहुत जल्दी चीज़ें आउट ऑफ हैंड हो जाती है। और मैं चाहता था पर्सनली कि इस चीज़ को पहले ही ख़त्म किया जाए, इससे पहले कि ये और उसी तरह बढ़ता जाए।
I mean, I think from my end, all I can say is it's just a try from our end to end it here.
Yeah.
But then, like we said, there are always good people and bad people. I'm sure there are some people looking at this interview and trying to think about how they can turn it into something else.
Well, people will always try to do that.
But,
yeah. So, मोहम्मद भाई, आप कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे और इसके बारे में एंड में?
जी, इसके बारे में एक्चुअली ऐसा है कि हमारे खासतौर पे हमारे जो ईस्ट में है, वो लोग ज्यादातर जो है इंस्पायर हो जाते हैं वेस्ट से, जो कि अच्छी बात है। अगर लोग अच्छी बातें ले रहे हैं उनसे तो अच्छी बात है, बट वी शुड नॉट, वी मस्ट रिमेम्बर आवर कल्चर्स एंड ऑल, यू नो, एंड वी मस्ट बी विद दैट। एंड लाइक ऐसा कितने बार होता है कि वेस्ट में भी अगर हो सकता है कि आगे से इंडिया में भी आ जाए कि माँ बाप जब बच्चे बड़े हो जाते हैं तो अगर वो लोग माँ बाप के साथ में रह रहे हैं तो वो लोगों का जीना हराम हो जाएगा बाहर कॉलेज में, फ्रेंड्स में, कि इतना बड़ा हो कि अपने माँ बाप के साथ में रहता है। तो आपके पेरेंट्स ने आपको बड़ा किया है, व्हेन यू वर अ बेबी, नाउ योर पेरेंट्स have become like babies, so you have to take care of your parents, you know. So ये सब चीजें, एक बहुत छोटा सा एग्जांपल मैंने दिया हो, तो ये सब हमारा ब्यूटीफुल चीज है जो उन्हें हमसे सीखना चाहिए। तो वो हम उनसे सीख रहे हैं, ऐसी भी चीजें हैं। तो अच्छी बातें सीखें और जो बुरी बातें हैं वो ना सीखें। और कभी भी अगर बात हो तो रिलीजन के पर्सपेक्टिव से भी, सो वी शुड रेस्पेक्ट ऑल बिलीव्स, ऑल इमोशंस, मतलब जिसका भी जो भी इमोशंस है, we should respect that, and I think we should never bring up this topic. And आपने जो कहा कि माइंड में होती है वो बात, इवन ड्यूरिंग द फाइट, वो माइंड में क्रॉस होना भी आई थिंक गलत है कि मेरा सामने वाला अपोनेंट जो है he belongs to this and this religion और इसकी वजह से I fight him, and you know वो ग्रज रखना अंदर।
नहीं, मैं ग्रज की बात नहीं कर रहा था, लेकिन जैसे जितेंद्र भाई अर्लियर बात कर रहे थे कि अगर आपका एक फेथ है और आप उसमें प्राइड रखते हैं, कई बार आप अपने भगवान का नाम लेके लड़ते हैं, नॉट इसलिए कि दूसरे मजहब का है, बट सिर्फ अपने।
I think what Parvin was referring to was the comment where I said that, you know, sometimes my faith gives me that extra edge mentally because I know that my God is looking over me and I'm safe, I'm protected. So his intention wasn't to say that it's in your mind that, okay, this guy is from a different religion.
Yeah.
I mean, just putting it out there because this is a conversation between him and me.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. ठीक है, which is the right thing, I think.
Yeah.
Which is the right thing to seek help from your God because that's what gives you energy, correct? And that's what gives you help also.
Yes.
Because that's what we believe, you know. That's why we seek help because we get the help also.
Absolutely. चलो मोहम्मद भाई, इसके बारे में आप कुछ एंड में कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे अपने इंडियन फॉलोअर्स को?
जी, सबसे पहले तो मैं सबका बहुत शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि सब लोग ने इतनी प्यार और मोहब्बत दिए हैं। लाइक आई एम नथिंग, यू नो, इतने छोटे से फाइटर के लिए दे ऑलवेज गिव रिस्पेक्ट। व्हाट आई बिलीव इज इफ देयर इज नो फरहाद, लाइक सर मेंशन कि मेरा नाम आता है जहन में, इफ यू टेक, सो दैट्स अ वेरी ह्यूज थिंग फॉर मी। और अगर एक फरहाद अगर ना भी हो एमएमए के अंदर तो भी एमएमए जो है वो चलता रहेगा और बहुत फाइटर्स आते रहेंगे। सो आई थिंक इतना रिस्पेक्ट मेरे लिए बहुत है और it's too much to it's very good enough to, you know, motivate me to train for my future fights and you know, make my Indian friends, fans, followers happy. So I think I'll improve more and more and I'll come back stronger.
Great. And Mohammed bhai, we are waiting for your next fight and we hope to talk to you soon and see you fight again in the cage very soon.
जी जी ज़रूर,
क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स फाइटर की पहचान उसके फाइट से है, तो वी रियली विश टू सी यू सून एंड वी एंजॉयड योर लास्ट फाइट एट कुमुटे लीग एंड वी होप टू सी यू वेरी सून अगेन.
ज़रूर, सेम हियर, लाइकवाइज.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Good to see you also after a long time.
Yes.
Good to see you also, Vicky sir. Even through the means of video. Thank you to MMA India show for making this happen. Thank you to you for having me here, for giving me this opportunity to be here. On now MMA India show has started. I know since when it started, but now it's become a biggest platform, has a huge number of followers,
Thank you.
which is spreading very right news
Yes.
across through the social media, making a right use of social media, which we all Indian MMA fans appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mohammed भाई. आप लोगों का प्यार है which keeps us going. जितेंद्र भाई आप सबका प्यार and support, and we will always try to do the right thing for Indian MMA. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Take
Thank
care.
you so much, Vicky sir.
Thank you, Mohammed. Bye.
Bye bye. So that was Mohammed Farhad giving his views, of course. Again, religion should not enter the octagon, of course. And like we said, you can't stop what your followers do. But he did send a good message out to everyone, that you should not even have it in your head that the guy opposite me is from a different religion. Even that is wrong. Even if you may fight and ask your God to give you strength, but you're not asking him to give you strength against somebody who is of the opposite religion. So I think that is a very good attitude, and he's sent out a great message, just like you did earlier. And we really hope that this is something that the Indian MMA fans take away, and fans all over the globe as well. Because like I said, we have seen an upswing in fights, which I never used to see before. I never used to see it before. I think it's a very recent phenomena.
Yeah, because I think also that MMA is now becoming more global. I mean, it's
Yeah.
reaching places where it hasn't before. So I think this is very organic.
Yeah.
We're going to see this. We are going to see this, and I think it's about people sending out the right messages.
Yeah. But okay, yeah. But do you think we don't see it that much, like I was saying, in other sports though?
Like I said, understanding the nature of the sport.
Because it's
a very primal sport. It's two people with their fists and
therefore
legs going
religion
at
being
it.
a primal emotion.
Yeah.
That's why it comes into the picture in
I think
MMA.
it's very natural. I think at the end of the day, I don't know how you can contain it, but I think it's just about the prominent figures of this sport, like Farhad, at least in India, like Farhad and other fighters, talking about the fact that yes, religion is important to them as a person, but it's not important. It's not bigger than the sport. It's not bigger than the country they are representing. I think as long as that right message keeps going out, we will see a change.
Yeah.
So at least that's what I want to.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's where we'll say thank you. I'm not sure Arjun is coming on. Let's just try calling him. Once we have tried messaging him, so let's just try him once more to see if he's around. He's not online. Let me give him one last message, otherwise we'll see. So, tell me, who are the fighters that you have an eye on? We can, talk about Indian MMA till then. Apart, from, of course, you have your own. Who are the fighters you would pick? Let's say for international.
So
I don't say international duty. What I mean is,
I know, yeah,
which,
what you're saying, yeah.
who
So
can fight
since I've been involved in the whole amateur side of the sport, I think there is a lot of good talent out there, you know, especially with the women's fight night. You know, we had some great fighters that turned up, like you know, Aarti Khatri, Mamta Sharma, Ishika Thite.
Yeah.
Then you had some great performances from Mankomal.
Yeah.
You know, Reshma Sakpal.
Yeah.
The main event, obviously Akshaka, you've been featuring for some, but even Ivanka Brown.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, there's just a lot of good amateur talent out there, you know, which has come out from a lot of shows. Like in the Northeast, there's some great fighters like Arsenba, you know, Long Sun Kumbao. In the South, you have your Kaushik, you have Lenin, you have Abu. You know, you have some great fighters coming out of Hyderabad. You have Basaves from Mysore. You know, in Chandigarh, one of the guys that I've had the honor to see him fight cage side is Nikunj, and I think he's one of the great amateur talents out there. You know, then there are some couple of good guys fighting out of Chandigarh, like you know, one of the guys that fought in Chennai event from the Indian top team, Gurkaran's team. There are two guys, Sahil Rana and wow, I forget his name. He's going to kill me.
Oh.
But yeah, so you know, he's another. I think it's just the talent is endless, and I think there are a lot of good guys too.
Do you think, especially Indian women's MMA is set to take off now?
I personally believe so. I personally believe so, and I think, you know, we've had some good showing by Priyanka and Pooja in 1FC, and I think that's just the start. I think that's just the start.
Well, you have had a good showing by the guys as well recently.
Yeah, I mean,
You know?
let's be really honest. It's something that it has been a male-dominated sport, so we are like, okay, you know. But even now with these two winning, it just now turns the eyes on the Indian women, you know, the MMA in India for women as well. And I think we've got some really great talent out there. I think a little more of, you know, more fights on the amateur level.
Yeah.
And I think we've got a lot of Indian women that can go out there. and
Because
fight.
really, you know, the fights that I saw really opened up my eyes.
Yeah.
You know, at X1, not just the talent but the heart.
Yeah.
You know, the never say, and at that time we reviewed 3 fight promotions which had happened within that week. You know, which was MMA Matrix Fight Night, and of course X1 and Underground Fight Nights, and of course yours was the only one which was purely female. But what I really came out with was the heart that these females showed, which was never give up. You know, they just would not. Nobody was backing down from anybody except one female fighter who I think got hit on the nose. You know, and you know, and I think that, you know, really.
Yeah, but
should
even
drop.
if you see that fight, the doctor stopped the fight. She
The doctor
wanted
stopped
to
the fight.
continue
Yeah,
to
she
fight.
didn't. She didn't
Yeah,
stop.
I mean, obviously,
So
she
that's
was
what I
hit,
mean.
so-
Yeah. So obviously she's hit and injured. Doctor stopped the fight. But what I'm trying to say is nobody was, you know, backing down. They all came, you know. And what was, you know, and I find it. I don't want to say it. Funny is not the right word, but it's like I just found it so heartening, you know, that there was these ladies who outside the cage were mothers and ladies, you know, they're like, you know, it's like doodh pe le, ye kar le, wo kar le, you know, acha baith ja, and you know, come on, ring, put on the gloves, win, and then go back. Acha kaise beche doodh piya, acha chal. You know, you got what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like these two distinct roles, you know, outside and inside the cage. I don't mean distinct in a way of, oh, outside you got to be a mother, you know, but it was just so heartening.
It's like a switch.
It's a
like,
switch.
You know, you are taking care of a
So
child,
it was
and there
just
you go and
it was just so heartening that inside the cage there was no, in the mind there were fighters. There was no thing of, oh, I gotta take care of my son, you know, I gotta take care of my kid. It was just, I'm a fighter, and that fighter mode was on, and they were just out to win.
like I said, these are athletes at the end of the day, and this is what. And I think, you know, where it all came from is the fact that, you know, fortunately, they saw this as a platform to prove themselves. I guess because it was never done before, and you know, when I contacted them and I told them that, listen, you know, this is the whole idea. And I also believe that even they saw the fact that there were not many people that were behind this, and not many people, and we faced that challenge, you know, Preksha and I faced that challenge going in, where people are like, nahi hoga yaar, you know, how they look is important, are ye to moti hai, ye hai, wo hai, and most people didn't think we'll be able to pull through this fight night. So I think somewhere even the fighters wanted to prove a point, saying that listen, we can carry a card, and I think that showed in the match.
Yeah.
I think that
I
definitely
mean, I'll
showed.
be very frank with you. If there was another women's only fight card, I would be the first one lining up to buy a ticket for it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, suddenly everyone wants to see that
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
and hopefully we get to do that. I think I
Which
would
is
still
great.
do
You know,
that
I always
once in
believe
6 months.
I always believe give the people what they want.
Yeah.
You know, so if there is a demand all of a sudden,
Yeah.
because of what you guys did, you know, you guys put up the fight, the ladies fought. If there is a demand because of the passion they had, why not give it back to the fans again?
Again, like I said, sponsors.
Of course.
Give us the money, we'll do it again.
Yeah.
No, but I think you know, again, I would really love to do that once in 6 months.
Yeah.
I think why not? I mean, today we have a whole championship in Victor,
Yeah.
which is dedicated to women fighters and bringing them up. And you know, why not in India? I think we have, if not, I mean, number-wise, we have way more women in the country, and I'm sure if we have something like that, it will also encourage more women to come out and fight. I think, you know, I'm game for it, for sure.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I don't think Arjun is going to be able to come on today, so if he does, we will come back to you. But that was a very important chat we had today, speaking with Jitendra and Mohammed Farhad, both about what they're doing and the future, and of course the role of religion in MMA. So I think the end message to everybody is calm the fuck down. You know, calm the fuck down. You know, we know, you know, it's the fighters are there representing themselves, and they happen to belong to a religion. I don't think the fighters intend to make it into like a crusade. So let's tell the fans, don't make it into one. You know, it's okay to back your fighter. Okay, because he belongs to a certain religion. That doesn't mean you go after the others,
Yeah.
other fighters or other fans.
And you need to learn to give credit where it's due.
Absolutely.
If your fighter loses to a more skilled fighter, it's a loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a loss.
I don't
That's
say
it.
they're not
There's
winning.
not more to
Like
it.
you said, see, every advantage is an advantage. You know, if it gives that mental edge, but they're not winning or losing because of their religion. You know, it's about the skill set they have. You know, and very frankly speaking, I don't think religion gives them that skill set. It might give them the power to believe in themselves, but the skill set and talent and everything, you know, it doesn't come, according to me, from the gods you believe in, because every god gives their people power. You know, who's to say who gives them more? It depends on your personal belief, how much belief system you have, how much, you know. But like I said, that's a whole different thing of where you get your mental strength from. Let's call it that. But you don't get your talent or strategy from there. Your strategy is not Bhagwan ke upar chhod deta hu. You know, Bhagwan mujhe rasta dikhayega. You know, fight mein. So that's not the strategy. You know,
There's a saying, right? God helps those
who help themselves. Yeah, absolutely. So let's tell the fans that as well. You know, that's the thing is. So you know, like I said, everybody, stop bringing, according to me, religion into the picture so much. Sports, MMA is the religion, you know, that we all follow. We are all united by that. You know, we are all united by our love for MMA. Pyari baat boli main. We are all united by the love for MMA. MMA हमारा भगवान है, blah blah blah. You know, so use MMA Baba. So use that to unite, to share, to talk about your love for MMA, to talk about your love for your fighters. Don't let religion divide you in your love for MMA and your fighters like it does everywhere else. You know, तो ये ज्ञान final ज्ञान है. So what was that? Love MMA and calm the fuck down. You know those. Anyway, those. So the saying. So you know, that's what I have to say. This is Parvin Dabas saying thank you to Jitendra Khare for coming and chatting with us again, and Mohammed Farhad, who was online, and
The MMA India Show.
Hello?
Parveen!
Hey, I can hear you now. Ah, there you are. Awesome.
Hey, there we go.
Finally, we got a connection. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a little late. Sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Not my style,
No worries.
but I am here.
Great.
And I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. Great to have you over, like always. Do you seem ready to sleep right now?
It's a little late. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us late, Canada time. And of course, let's talk about your fight first. You are fighting Juan Adams, the Kraken, on May 5th in Ottawa, correct?
Correct. May 4th.
Okay, it's going to be 5th morning here. That's why I said May 5th.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
It's going to be Sunday morning, May 5th here, and we are all going to be watching the fight and excited. Do you think this is your toughest fight till date, or is every fight as tough as the other?
You know what? Once you get to the UFC, everyone's tough, right? Everyone brings something to the table. Everyone's earned their place here. So, every fight's tough in its own way, but we like the matchup. I feel I match up very well for this, and it's going to be a fantastic performance.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it. Now tell me, do you want to say anything about how you are approaching the fight? He does, I think he's on 4-0 or 5-0. He's undefeated, right?
Yeah, 5-0, 5 stoppages. He's been doing well. You have to respect that. He's a big dude. He cuts down a lot of weight. And he obviously has power, but that's where the respect stops. Everyone has that in the heavyweight weight class. These are the big boys. So it's not unique what he brings to the table. What I bring to the table is unique. I bring my movement, my agility, my stamina, my wrestling credentials, my striking. It's all unique. It's gonna be a great fight. We beat him in the striking. We beat him in the wrestling. And we beat him more than anything where I'm at. This is a way of life for me now, man. I've been doing this for my entire life. He's every day he's a TV character. He's on Dana White's show because he's a character. He's not a true professional. He made it on a reality show. He likes collecting a paycheck. But that's where it stops. He's never fought someone like me, and he's in deep waters now. And he's undisciplined. He's insecure, and he oozes that if you just watch any of his stuff, and that's how he's going to break. I'm going to test him, and that will be exposed not only to him but to the world.
Wow, so strong words, and we really look forward to that fight now. And are you still looking ahead of that, or is it one fight at a time, of course?
Always one fight at a time. I do have an idea for what I want to happen in the future. You always have to create your own life, and so this is I decided to fight out my contract, so we're gonna look to get the numbers right in the contract right after this fight.
Okay, so this is your last fight on your contract?
Correct.
Okay. Now tell me one thing, do you think you are in a better position negotiating with the UFC because they are looking at India? They have been, of course, for some time, so nobody really knows when they're gonna come. But do you think that puts you in a better position?
I believe so. I believe your uniqueness is always. Look at Greg Hardy. The guy's co-main eventing a UFC event this weekend. He has no business to be even in the UFC. He's not at that level, but he has uniqueness behind him. So he's in a position to leverage that. I think I have a uniqueness about me, definitely. The UFC is coming to Vancouver as well. So that's my hometown. We're gonna shut the place down. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And then coming to India, obviously, I'm the guy for that. And not only just for the skill set and all of that success, because you can come from any country you want. If you can't win at a high level, it doesn't mean shit. And I can be in there with the best, and I'm shooting for that gold, and I have a skill set. And beyond that, you're not just planting me down there. I have a real connection to the homeland, to my culture, to the roots, and I represent that, and always have even before the UFC. So it's a natural fit for the company. It's a natural sell for the company, and it's a natural fit for us as a community and as a people. It's going to be great. It's going to do great things on the ground out there.
Now, Aditya Ranganajan has an interesting question for you, based on you saying that you want to fight out your contract. Does that also mean that there's a chance you could go to a Bellator or in some other international promotion, or an upcoming Indian promotion, or are these all possibilities then if you're fighting out your contract?
Absolutely. You know, the market we're in now, you got the UFC, you got Bellator, you got one. These
Yeah.
are the major players, and you'd be crazy not to test out your worth and all that type of thing. And so, you know, that's where it's at. I know my worth, and I know, you know, where I want to be. And just sometimes you have to, you know, put the cards in your own hands. And that's where we're at. I got a great management company guiding me through this, and you know, I'll trust their abilities in negotiating on my behalf, and we'll go from there.
Great. Now, coming to one of the topics that we're talking about today. You know, recently you saw Khabib and Conor going at it, and religion entered into the picture. You know, where the UFC had to then shut them down. You know, and we have recently also seen a lot of upsurge in the amount of talk and hate in MMA groups in India, which I used to not see before, based on religion and based on the fans following people from their own religion. You know, now also, you know, there are positive ways of looking at it. There are negative ways of looking at it. There's ways in which fighters bring a positivity to it. There are ways that some people, of course, you know, both fighters and fans can bring negativity to it. It did also, I want to go back to something Dana White had said when Yoel Romero, you know, made some statements in the cage about, you know, Jesus, don't forget, America, don't forget Jesus. I think something to that effect, where Dana White said, listen, buddy, keep religion to your house and don't bring it into the cage. You know, now in the background of that, of course, like I said, you know, there are positive ways of using it. Now, you were, I think, given, if you want to call it an exemption, and you were, you know, allowed to wear the turban, you know, into the cage as well, which is also a religious symbol in a way, and a cultural one as well. You know, so what do you think? What is your take on it? Is it, of course, based on the intention of the fighter, or is it a risky thing going down, which opens up? Is it like a Pandora's box? Let's say that. Is it a Pandora's box which can open up, you know, the MMA world, like I said, like we recently saw in the Conor Khabib, you know, Twitter fight, of going down a path, a religious path that we may not want to go down?
Yeah, you know, that's a loaded question. I think, you know, it is obviously, there's good and bad to it. You know, it's good to be passionate. You know, it's good to have a sense of belonging to a certain community, religious, ethnic, cultural, whatever. Why not represent that? That's who you are. You know, there's so many people in this world, in my opinion, that are always trying to be like everybody else nowadays with the social media stuff. So it's a good way to be real, to represent who you are if you are proud of that, if you live it. So you know, whenever it's worked out positively, it's been great. There's a reason they're going to Dubai with Khabib. You know what I mean? And you know, he represents his culture, his religion, his heritage proudly, and he's real about it. But then when it gets out of hand, like you touched on with Conor, you know, he doesn't understand. I think he does understand, actually. You cross those lines, he knows what he's doing. He's very calculated in that regard. It's real. You don't touch on family. You don't touch on religion. You don't touch on certain things like that, because that's real, especially to the people from the East. But he's doing that on purpose, right? He's a counter fighter. He gets guys riled up, so they come at him and he clips them. That's Conor. The UFC loves it for sure. You know, like you said, they provided me an exemption to be able to do that. Anything to connect with more fans and to allow, you know, fighters to do that in a positive way. When it gets out of hand, it doesn't look good on the sport, the brand, all of that stuff. And I think, you know, Conor's doing a few things that don't look good beyond just religion and attacking people's religions and belief systems. He's got a handful of other things, you know, court cases and stuff he's got to handle now. So I don't know what's going on over there, but, you know, on my end, My personal, I love doing it. I love representing it. Even back home, man, in India, there's some craziness, with the attacks on minorities and rights and that type of stuff, especially currently. It's scary stuff. And we know how complicated, the makeup of the Indian Republic is.
Yeah.
How hard it was to come together and all that. So I think it's important to respect each other's rights and belief systems, and come together and embrace that. There's love and hate. There's fear and there's love. Always in this life, two options. And if you can always use the positive, always come together. That's fantastic. But there will always be people on the flip side. But that's the world we live in, man. Pick your side.
Well, great. Like we said, unfortunately, there are more people who would use it in a negative way. So what I'm trying to say is it perhaps safer not to open that box and go down that road?
But as soon as you start doing that, where do we draw the line?
Yeah.
If we're talking about safe and fear, and then now you're allowing a small minority of people to control everybody else and what they want to be and how they want to live. Isn't that what this life's about? You should be able to do what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody. You should be able to represent what you do, what you want, and live how you want. As soon as you start, especially people getting overly offended nowadays, trying to stay so politically correct. Forget that bullshit. We're not all politicians. We're normal people. Let those politicians pander to votes and play those types of games. As soon as you start, pulling that stuff back because someone might, use it negatively, or that person's in the wrong. That person needs to be sorted out. You should be free to represent what you want, believe in what you want to believe. As long as you're not doing anything negatively or hurting anybody, that's your God-given right.
Absolutely. So, I was just thinking of something. I lost my train of thought. Anyways, so basically, it is up to the intention of both the fighters and the people following them, and we need to trust in that. Yeah, I remember now what I was saying is we spoke to, of course, a couple of other people as well, and what Mohammed Farhad, who's an Indian MMA fighter, Jitendra Khare, who's a coach and promoter here, and both of them seem to say, which is, I would say, reflective of what Dana White is saying, is that in the octagon you leave religion. Hello? Can you hear us? Hello? It's reconnecting. Hello? 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 Okay, let's see if we just need to reconnect. Sorry guys, give us a minute. We are trying to reconnect with Arjun Bullock. Try to connect with him again.
Hey boss, sorry we got disconnected.
No worries. Sorry. So what I was saying was, I remembered my train of thought is basically what we had an Indian MMA fighter, a very well-known Indian MMA fighter called Mohammed Farhad on the show, a coach, Jitendra Khare, and also what Dana White seems to say in his Yoel Romero statement was, you keep religion out of the cage. Whatever you want to believe in, outside of it, whoever you want to pray to, whatever, let's say even if you want to, represent your community, whatever you want to do, you keep it outside of the cage, but inside the cage, hello, 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 can you hear us? Hello? Yeah, we're back. So basically, basically inside the cage, you keep religion out. Is that what you are basically saying as well, or do you have a different viewpoint?
Well, when you're in the cage, it's a fight.
Yeah.
Religion ain't gonna help you there. I'll tell you that much. So essentially, I think it is out. But I think in between that, obviously, be who you are, represent what you want, and just know that you're competing. You're in a fight there. I think naturally that stays out. But where it's caught trouble is, outside the cage anyways, but Conor's attacking people online and, that type of stuff. But he, again, because of Conor, are you gonna do that now where everyone has to abstain because of his behavior? Like, you know what I mean? He's the problem.
Yeah.
I think everything else is fine.
Okay. Well, great. Well, leaving that aside, we've got another very interesting question for you from Aditya Rangarajan. Is what would you think about a matchup between you and Brock Lesnar, Bill? How do you think that would go?
I'd finish him.
You'd finish.
Easy. He's not a fighter. He's a wrestler. He can't take a punch. He doesn't know how to throw a punch. He shoots a double leg, and he's a big and strong dude. He's not going to take me down. He's just not going to take DC down. DC's going to defend his double leg, and he's going to beat him up. I would do the same thing. Anyone he hasn't been able to take down, he gets finished by. Kane, Overeem, look at those fights. And he's not going to take me down. So I'll take that fight any day of the week.
Okay. But I think DC is in front of you in line. So
absolutely.
Did you think that? Yeah.
He's the older guy. You have to, older statesman.
Yeah.
He gets first dibs.
Absolutely. So do you think that fight's actually going to materialize?
Absolutely. That's the one that's it's getting made, and they're saying probably August. He's already in camp training for it. I know Brock is sort of dragging his feet, and they're trying to figure that part out. I don't know if it's a money issue.
Yeah.
But he's in the testing pool. He's been tested, and that's the fight he's asked for. Dana said he'll give it to him. That's why he's been sitting on the sidelines waiting for that. So that unless for whatever reason it stalls on Brock's end, UFC's wanting to give it to Daniel, and Daniel wants it.
Now talking about DC, he has, I think, said that he's got his last 1 or 2 fights left in him, right?
Yeah, you know what? It was supposed to be, this is it. Everyone's telling him. Last conversation I had with him, I said the same thing. All the other training partners, coaches, they want him to get this big payday and cash out, man. He's done it all in the sport. He's 40 years old, nothing left to prove. He's not on any picograms, so he's not getting any younger, and no help in that regard. So just right off to the sunset like GSP.
But wouldn't you want to see DC versus John Jones one last time? That be the last fight at heavyweight?
I'd love to see that another 5 times, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
For me, selfishly, absolutely. I'm a fan just like you. I'd love to see him fight. I think that last fight was going great. I felt it was going in his favor, the momentum of it, and then he got caught. But, at the same time, he has won 2 belts. He's defended both belts. No one's ever done that. And, he doesn't have anything left to prove. Again, even if he fights him at heavyweight, are they going to allow him to be dirty and give him a pass, just like the last couple of fights, and say it's just picograms?
Yeah. And
not be able to explain how those picograms are getting into him? They haven't ever been able to find a substance. Where did those picograms come from? How come no one else says them?
Yeah.
So why are you gonna get involved with that nonsense? He's got a family, got a great broadcast career. Get your couple of mil with Brock and just ride off, man.
Now, like you said, he's an elder statesman. After this, would you continue to look forward to him for advice? Then does he get into that advisory kind of role for younger fighters like you then?
Always. He's the team captain in AKA. He has that title for a reason. He leads by example. And whenever he's there, you can always pick his brain, shoot him a message. He was very, he was very helpful when I got into the sport. He was very helpful after my Arizona fight when I had a setback there. And before he signed this contract, he checked out the opponent, gave the green light. So he's always there, man. It's just a matter of always reaching out and picking his brain. Sometimes you forget to do that, but he's the most humble and most available guy there is.
Well, awesome. Any last words, Arjun, before we let you go to sleep, since you're literally ready, primed up in your bed with your pillow?
I appreciate the support from you guys, all the fans in India. Your show is doing great stuff. Keep it up. And I hope everyone tunes in. May 5th is my brother's birthday, so I'm dedicating the fight to him.
Awesome.
And it's going to be a great performance. It's in Canada's capital of Ottawa. And I'm going to do everyone proud and bring the house down. It'll be on TSN TV out this way. And I guess Sony India for you guys.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. I appreciate the support. Keep supporting. And thank you so much.
When do we expect to see you in India again? Of course, we met up with you on your last trip here. When do we expect to see you here again?
I will for sure be out there after my next one in same time around for the Sheru and that type of thing. There's a couple projects I'm working on. I want to get finalized before I come out. I want to get this contract sorted out. I want to get a couple other things I have on hold for after this fight. I won't be coming in the summer months. I don't want to melt while I'm out there. Come on, man. So I'll be probably October, November-ish is when you can expect me.
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much for chatting with us, and all the best for your fight, and we will be watching and supporting you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, guys, and talk to you soon.
Take care. Cheers. Well, that was us chatting with Arjun Bullard, who has his fight against Juan the Kraken Adams on May 5th. Of course, here May 5th in India on Sony. And we will be watching and supporting him and his views, of course, on the topic for the day, religion in MMA. And of course, we had Mohammed, Farhad on the show, and Jitendra, Khare. So we would like to thank all three of them, Arjun Bullard, Mohammed Farhad, Jitendra, Khare, for joining us today. Sorry we had to take a break in between. Arjun, of course, is busy training for his fight. So we were able to speak to him when he got free, and we are very thankful for that time. That was the show for today, and I think there are a lot of lessons in the show today, so I hope all of you rewind it and watch it again and listen carefully to what everybody has to say and take the positive out of this show today. Remember, always stay positive, and that's the message for today. This is Parvin Dabas signing out, saying thank you everyone for tuning in. Parvin Dabas, MMA India Show, MMAindia.com. Cheers, have a great day.